WholeOfEngland here, and today we are taking a look at the Stalingrad. Now, I am very happy to be making this video as it's an impressions video, and it's of the Stalingrad, and I'm very happy that this is sort of finally in my port now. I've been waiting for quite a long time to really get this, as I've been waiting for the actual coupon to become available so I could actually afford this, and now I finally own it. And as a sort of a general TLDR before we get into the entirety of the video, I've got to say it's a very, very good ship, and I would definitely recommend getting it. Now, it's got some very good points, but it does actually have a few downsides, which I think just make it perfectly balanced, I'd say. I mean, some would say it's overpowered, but I've got to say I do think it has some pretty big weaknesses, so those do need to be taken into account when, you know, when thinking of how to play it. But regardless, I think it's a pretty amazing ship. Now, I usually give most ships a pretty good thing anyway, you know, good review anyway. I mean, even the Kansas, I found good points in that, so, you know, when I say something's good, sort of take it with a pinch of salt. However, today we're actually going to be looking at someone else's replay, so this is their first actual random battle playing in the Stalingrad, and that is Federico, who's in my clan. Now, he also thinks it is equally amazing as well, so it's not just me that thinks this, and you're about to see why. So we'll come out of the port now and start taking a look at this replay. Now, we're just at the start of one here, so we're currently on, what are we on? Sleeping Giant here, so I'll just quickly get up the actual scoreboard so you can see we've got quite a few destroyers there, so 4 destroyers on each side. We've got quite a few actual battleships here, so that's very nice, especially considering the actual ballistics of these guns. So first thing I'm really going to cover with these is that just the guns are absolutely amazing. So they've got increased penetration angles and they do a hell of a lot of damage. You know, they'll actually go in, they'll detonate, and they'll just be ridiculous to just anything that gives you a broadside, including battleships, because usually when you're firing AP, I mean, if you've got, say, some of the super heavy armor-piercing shells for the Americans, then yeah, you do also get those, but with many other nations you don't really get that. You'll just get sort of a ricochet or something, but with the Stalingrad's guns, no, that doesn't happen. But it also happens to cruisers, you'll just see here. Look at that, a citadel already, brilliant. His first salvo, he gets a citadel and 11k of damage. Now, the other thing to note with these guns is that they've got a pretty amazing Sigma of 2.65 as well, so you can see there's some really nice grouping there. So if you're aiming for a citadel and it's perfectly tracking it, you know, tracking a target, you're going to hit the citadel. Obviously, he's going for a curve, so that's going to hit the turtle back, but regardless, he got 4 penetrations and another 13k, so just brilliant there. Now, you know, as well as that, the actual dispersion, I mean, it's, I think the base dispersion, yeah, 218 meters, so again, that's very good. And you're about to see again, look at that, just another 13k so 5 penetration, it's just ridiculous. I love it. Yeah, so already you can see this is going quite well. He's only been playing literally for like a minute or two here, and he's already up nearly 40k and now engaging into the Halland. So this is the next point here. So as well as that, the Stalingrad actually has a 12-kilometer radar, and that can last like well over 30 seconds, especially with the sort of improved radar upgrade you can go with. So that's going to make it quite good for countering destroyers. The one downside with this compared to other Russian cruisers is it hasn't got any hydroacoustic search. However, it does have a defensive AA expert, but yeah, so that can be a bit of an issue when going alongside the fact this thing has got a ridiculously long time for the actual rudder time to shift. So I guess that is one of the things that, you know, is a bit of a counter and makes it not completely overpowered. So you can actually see on screen as well the actual build that Federico's going for. I mean, okay, here comes some actual Halland torpedoes. They're quite quick, but that's the thing. They're Halland torpedoes, so they're not really going to do too much. Yeah, there we go. That did pretty minimal damage, and now he's repaired that, so all good. But so you can see on screen, you know, he's got his build. Just pop that up again. I mean, this was technically a battleship commander he had, and then he sort of stuck it on the Stalingrad, but even so, it works somewhat well. Just the only thing is he's not actually got Adrenaline Rush running, which is something he would like to have. I mean, it's only going to be a sort of quick section here with the extra captain builds, because the thing is, there's going to be the new captain rework coming up anyway, so these old captain skills aren't really going to be too much use for very long at all. But I mean, he said what he's going to go for, or at least before the actual update comes, and as a good build for anyone really looking for builds, would to actually go for preventative maintenance for the first skill. For the tier 2 skills would be to go for Adrenaline Rush and Jack of all trades. then go for basics of survivability and superintendent, and then the last two, the tier 4 skills, would be concealment expert and fire prevention. Personally, if I was going to choose my first tier 4 skill, it would be fire prevention first because of the ridiculous actual concealment you've got in this thing. So, you know, you're going to be spotted anyway, so you might as well try and survive for longer rather than stay unspotted, as that's going to be pretty hard in this ship anyway. So anyway, that's the actual, I guess, build covered. I mean, you can see the rest of it on screen. I mean, Federico's not actually running any flags here, and oh my god, look at this. I mean, this Yoshino, he's not helping himself. He's been citadeled already and taking a lot of damage, and he's just carrying on. 22k, 6 penetrations. I think he's finally started learning. He's now turning away after being thoroughly punished. Well, yeah, I don't know. I just wouldn't want to be in that Yoshino's shoes right now, because it's looking quite painful. And just as he's reloaded, he's now giving him another quite a nice angle. So yeah, that's just overall not good. He's turning into them. Okay, he didn't hit that one. Okay, that's fair enough. The Yoshino did get away and he's managing to heal. So the actual thing with this ship as well is very, very fast. So I think it's like 35 knots or so. And if you've got the Sierra Mike flag, that's going to increase your speed by another 5%. So that's going to get it up by like 1 and a bit knots or something. So, you know, it can definitely really go fast, this thing can. You know, you can be catching up with some destroyers, to be honest. You know, that's another good thing about it. But as I say, I mean, the actual ready shift time is the only sort of issue with maneuverability in this ship. But yeah, so overall, so far, wow, that was a very lucky Yamato then. They just run out before they're about to hit his torpedo protection then, which is very lucky. And oh, there's the Yoshino now getting spotted. So already, I'm going to be honest, just with those attributes alone, I'd say this thing is incredibly good. Now, the actual armour itself as well, it's got very, very thick hull plating. I think it's like 50 millimeters or something, so quite a lot of shells will shatter. I mean, the actual bow itself can be overmatched, I believe, by most battleships and anything that's high caliber. But I mean, the way I've counted it is just to further angle, just so you know, you see where they're coming from. So not completely nose on, sort of angle it a bit, so it's such a high angle then that they are just going to ricochet off, and that's what suited me so far. So I mean, the sort of the main thing to do with this ship anyway is to nose on everything, because that's another one of the downsides to the ship is, you know, it's got a pretty easy to hit citadel on me, and there's been a few times in clan battles where I've been in my Minotaur, which is notoriously known for being able to be one-shot by pretty much anything. I mean, you know, you could probably have the Himalayan and would manage to one-shot the Minotaur. I mean, it's very, very weak, but I was in the Minotaur and Stalingrad came, just pushed me broadside on. Obviously, me having the 2-second rapid-fire machine guns of the main batteries the thing has, managed to make, you know, pretty quick work of it. So obviously, like any ship, you don't go broadside to things, but I mean, you get especially punished when you do that in the Stalingrad. So that's just something to really keep in mind. And yeah, the Yoshino, I don't think he's going to get the kill here, or he may do, but he's now kiting and he's pretty far away. So even with the pretty good dispersion and Sigma, it's gonna be easy for that guy to maneuver away. So yeah, that's for that. I mean, the actual cost of it. Oh yeah, he does, and it's a citadel as well. Brilliant. So the only other thing is the actual cost, really. So it is quite expensive at 28,000 steel. I mean, a few more thousand you can get the FDR and then just kill absolutely anything with absolutely zero skill. But I mean, I'm going to be honest, if you've got the steel and you are looking for a good cruiser, I would definitely get it before. Because, alright, so going back, I mean, I was going to be going for either the Summers or this, because I was like, right, okay, well, the Summers is getting removed and I've got enough steel for it with the coupon. I'll surely go for the Summers, as, you know, that's going to be going. But I was thinking, at the end of the day, you know, the Kronstadt, that got removed as well, and that's a very powerful ship, and I'm guessing at some point they're going to do the same with the Stalingrad. And it took me a while to get this steel, so I thought, well, I'm going to use the Stalingrad more. So I thought, well, you know what, I'll wait for the coupon, get this, and then there we go. So, I mean, with the coupon, it goes from 28,000 steel down to 21,000, so you've got a 7,000 steel saving, which you can then use that 7,000 steel onto, say, a coal ship or something, as there's a 10-to-1 conversion. So that 7,000 steel would then convert to 70,000 coal, which is very good. So yeah, if you are sort of a cruiser main, or you play cruisers a lot, then I'd say go for it. Real quick, this is ridiculous. So we're about to see something crazy here, the anti-air. So look at that, just coming in. Bro. in a sailboat. 8. Like, I'm gonna be honest. That's not usual. Okay, that's something that doesn't always happen. But you got to admire that he just one shot 8 tier 10 midway torpedo bombers in a second. That is ridiculous. And then proceeds to citadel a Des Moines in the nose. I mean, this ship just is wonderful. I don't know what to say. I mean, that midway was just, he's probably dumbfounded for a second then, I'd say. Unfortunately, I don't think Federico does manage to get this kill here. No, he doesn't. I mean, it would have been nice if he did, but that's pretty ridiculous. But yeah, so if you are a cruiser main or you play cruisers quite a lot, then I'd say this is definitely worth getting because it's a very, very powerful ship and, you know, it's going to be useful. I mean, if you're playing ranked, as that's now going to be, I guess, a permanent game mode now, as it's going to be in constant sprints. So I think it'd probably be just the fact of, yeah, you know, get this ship if you have got the steel for it, as you don't really know how long it's going to be lasting in the store for. And it's just, overall, just a very fun ship to play as well. Yeah. So, the anti-air, yeah. I just can't get over that. It's crazy. So, it does have a pretty good anti-air rating. And at the end of the day, it has also got the defensive AA expert as well, which just, you know, that adds to it as well. I mean, I was about to say, you know, it can't always hold its own, especially when it's alone. But obviously, that's just disproved me entirely. But, you know, especially if you're in a group, that is going to be a real deterrent for any carriers that are choosing to go against you, and especially if you get, you know, if you're like going into a game where, you know, there's a tier 8 carrier or something like that, then you're definitely going to be able to defend yourself. And this Thunder here, I mean, see what Federico's doing, waiting for him to turn when he needs to. But unfortunately, there is also a Yamato on the right, if you can see that on the map there, which means that, you know, unfortunately, that 24k, well 25k now that Federico's about to get, unfortunately gets turned into 4,000, but even so, you know, might as well fire, and then his secondaries just start popping off, and there we go, he gets a secondary battery kill. So yeah, he has actually got some pretty good secondaries on this thing too, but hey, that's just a sort of little bonus. But anyway, so, as I was saying, it's just a very, very good ship. Now, I do usually give, you know, ships pretty, I guess, good reviews. I mean, most ships I won't really give too much of a bad name because I usually find the good parts to them. I mean, the only thing I've really given somewhat of a bad name is probably the Kansas, because it's the Kansas, but even that is actually getting some buffs, I think, in some of the upcoming updates. As, you know, some of the super test things on the dev blogger saw, you know, it means they're going to be getting, it's going to be getting better Sigma and some other changes too, so we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, this isn't just me that you know, says this is a great ship. I think just it's a unanimous agreement for most of the wargaming community. It's just a very well-rounded ship, performs pretty amazingly, and, you know, it's something, if you have a chance to, is, you know, is a ship that you should probably try and acquire and get into your arsenal. So that really covers the actual impressions, I guess. I mean, just overall, I just think it's a pretty amazing ship, and yeah, there we go. That is the actual game over there. You know, so I say it's a pretty amazing ship, and if you have a chance to get it, then I would say get it. So, just going to the actual report, the post-battle report here. So, considering this is the first random game he's had, by the way, 148,000 damage. I mean, pretty amazing there, with 87 main battery hits. The 9 aircraft he shot down in about the time span of about 3 seconds. 2 kills there. I mean, he probably could have gotten 4, actually, if no one else had been shooting those targets, but even so, 2 actual kills there, 2 fires. I mean, 5 very, very nice citadels there, and they've used secondary battery hits. So that really concludes the impressions. I mean, yeah, that's really it, to be honest. If you did enjoy, then make sure to leave a like, because that just allows people to really find my channel. As, I mean, recently more people have been liking my videos and engaging with them, and that's really helped us. I think now I'm only a couple of, I'm now, 3 off getting to 100 now, which is very nice. So, you know, if you could leave a like and possibly a comment for anything you want me to cover in the future, or just anything really, just to drop in the comments or anything to improve on, then that would be very appreciated. And that's it from me. So I hope you've enjoyed this impression, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.